Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Home Specialist Training. This training focuses on some important aspects of taking photos for our clients. My name is Ari Hunsaker with Homeland Field Services. For those that are watching this training, we thank you for your work inspecting homes. It goes without saying that the information we receive from you is critical to our clients. Good quality photos and accurate answers to survey questions are very important. And this is essentially how our clients monitor the health of the homes in their portfolio. So thank you for the time to make everything right in the work that is assigned to you. All right, so we'll continue on now. The agenda for this presentation is as shown on the screen. We'll cover quickly how this presentation fits in with the other presentations. We'll do an overview of the types of photos needed for our clients throughout a home. We'll cover the photos that are commonly missed. We'll also review some examples of photos. And lastly, we'll cover some terminology to be aware of that you may see in work orders. All right, first off, the training presentations. The last presentation, part 1, was an overview of our process and our approach to doing inspections of homes. This presentation, obviously, is the photo essentials, as I mentioned earlier. Then part 3 is an inspection of a bathroom. It'll be someone actually doing an inspection of a bathroom. You should be able to see and hear them talking and answering questions in the actual bathroom survey. Then part 4 is the same thing, but for a kitchen, and then a bedroom, HVAC system. Part 7 is a roof. And then part 8 will be lessons that we've learned that we want to pass along. So first off, I just wanted to mention we do really live or die by the quality, and this is in the overview of the photos we take from and the information that we provide. We have to have certain measurements to go along with photos. We obviously have to have photos, or we're not going to get paid. The Proven survey, and we first say that we use a system called Proven Direct to gather data from our home specialists. Proven is a free smartphone app that you can download from Google's Play Store or from Apple's App Store. And inside of Proven, when you go to a home and you have a work order, there are surveys assigned to each room inside the home, as well as areas outside of the home. That survey guides you to take certain critical photos, like a photo of under the sink, if you're in a bathroom or in a kitchen. Sometimes these things are missed. And that basically ensures that we don't miss anything. So as you go through the survey and answer questions and take the pictures that it guides you to take, you should be able to capture everything that we need to be able to take care of the needs of our client. Always take photos in landscape orientation, and somewhat turning the phone to the side there so it's more lengthwise than it is height-wise. Hopefully everybody understands what landscape orientation means. We really need photos taken in landscape orientation. As far as general guidelines, for every room you walk into, it's generally 6 pics that we need. That'll be all 4 walls, pictures of all 4 walls, whether there's damage in them or not. The ceiling and the floor, and that would be the 6 pictures. Those pictures need to be clear and in focus. We need to have them done during the day. If they're done at night, you're using a flashlight. Many of these homes don't have power, and so to get light, to be able to see what's going on in the photo, we really have to have these done during the day. Don't forget to take pictures of closets as well, or inside cabinets. A lot of times if you do a bathroom or a kitchen, you just open up all the cabinet drawers and doors and takes pictures of it that way, as well as with them closed, to make sure we get all that. Need pictures of appliances, fixtures, and under sinks, as I mentioned earlier. These need to be full, clear view pictures, especially when you're talking mechanicals like a water heater. We need a picture of the whole water heater so we can see the connections on top, as well as connections that may be underneath or down towards the bottom of gas connections if it's connected electrically. Clear view of plumbing and other electrical items, all that stuff we need to be able to see clearly. So usually kind of a full profile picture of the mechanical or whatever it is that you're taking a picture of, as well as close-ups of items like the connections, the electrical connection, as I mentioned, or the gas connection, water connections, things like that, to make sure that there's no leaking, there's no issues to be aware of, and it really is connected as it needs to be. Those things are really important in the photos that we take. Any photos that we take also need to support any damage or special conditions. If you walk into a room and you have a hole on the wall, you're going to be taking a picture of the wall as a whole wall as part of the 6 pics. But we also need to have you focus in on that particular damage. the hole in the wall, or if there's a stain, or if there's some water damage, or whatever it might be. Photos that support any damage like that or any special conditions are also very important. So as far as the outside of the home, we'll just kind of go through the photos that are needed. We'll need to get, when you get there, and again, if you go through the survey, it will guide you to gather these types of photos. But in the front, you need to get a full elevation shot with a full view of the property. This is kind of a wide angle shot, so you can catch from fence on the one side to the fence on the other side with the home, in full view. If there's a tree in the way, move to one side or the other side so we can see the home. You may have to take a few pictures there to get that type of a photo there, but the idea is to get a front elevation photo with a full view of the property. We need a picture of the number and the address on the property, the number that's right on the home itself. Sometimes it's out on the curb or on the mailbox, things like that, but a picture of that number or address on the property. Then we need wide-angle shots of each elevation. So I mentioned the front already. You go to the right of the home, the side of the house, capture that. Go around to the back of the property, capture a wide-angle shot of the home from the back, and then the left side of the home as you circle around the home. And then other angles around the exterior of the home are also important to see certain elements that are important. For example, up underneath the soffit there, the fascia, sometimes those things have issues, and we need to be able to see that in the pictures. As I mentioned in point number 5 there, look for and take pictures of any exterior damage. If you see a hole in the stucco or the siding, or if it's missing a piece of fascia, or you've got a damaged air conditioning condenser outside, make sure you get pictures of all that damage. Any debris that's out there. This is really important for clients to understand. Many of these homes are simply abandoned, whether the homeowner went into a foreclosure or whatever it might be. So lots of stuff has been left there at times, not always. But capture pictures of all the debris that's there, and you'll find there'll be a lot of it outside as well as inside the home. Any overgrown landscaping. Sometimes you'll have bushes or shrubs or trees that are growing very close to the home or close to the fence line. If we can get some idea as to how far away those things are from the home. There's certain HUD guidelines that require us to trim back shrubs and trees away from the home as well as from the fences, but we need pictures to be able to support that sort of work. Any fallen trees or tree stumps, any abandoned vehicles, you might find that there as well. And again, the survey will guide you through this. Need pictures of the gas meters, if there is one, a water meter, the electrical panel opened up so you can see the breakers, not necessarily all the way open so you can see all the exposed wiring, but mainly just the breakers. Any city, county, federal postings or code violations that are taped or attached to the property. That's usually on the front door or window. All that stuff is important in the pictures that we get. The roof is extremely important for the health of the home. Lots of reasons for that. Most problems that happen inside of a home start with the roof, and so we need good pictures of the roof. The preferred is to have you actually get on top of the roof and take various pictures from several spots on top of the roof. If it's fairly steep or if it appears unsafe, obviously we don't want you to do things that are unsafe. But if that's the case, then take photos that are at the level of the roof. So you lean a ladder, for example, against the side of the home, climb to the top of it, and at that level there, so you're at the roof level, but you're still standing on the ladder. At that level, then take pictures from various angles, and then go down, move the ladder maybe 10, 15 feet to one side or the other, climb up the ladder again, take more pictures of the roof from various angles, move the ladder again. And do this all the way around the home if you're going to do it from the ladder. But anyway, those roof photos are extremely important. The HVAC condensing units that may be outside with the line set up, the whip, disconnect heat pump package units, all that sort of stuff that's outside of the home. Take good pictures of that. The fencing, you have pictures of the condition of fencing. If there's a pool there, we need a good picture of the whole pool, as well if there's any problems there, how much water is inside the pool, things like that. Pictures of outbuildings. Now this is both outside the outbuilding as well as inside. Sometimes there's a lot of debris that's inside of the outbuilding and we would have no idea unless you open it up and take pictures of the inside as well. So both outside and inside. And when you go inside, get pictures of just like you would a room, of the floor, the walls, the ceiling. Same thing with sheds. Many homes have well pumps or little pump houses. Same sort of thing with them. Pictures of the outside of the pump house. Then open it up and take pictures of the inside just like you would for a regular room. Mobile homes have special situations where we need to take pictures of tags and labels and skirting, and underneath the underneath in the crawl space area there. Need a photo of the foundation if they have a permanent foundation, or any sort of foundation that's underneath a mobile home. We need photos of those things. It's all part of the exterior inspection. Then when you get inside, the photos that would be really important inside, well, first off, getting inside, make sure you have a set of HUD keys to be able to get inside the property. Sometimes the key that we're told, the number of the key that we're told will open that home. Sometimes that key does not work. And if you run into that situation there, you try to make sure that everybody has a full set of HUD keys. But I would go through every HUD key that you have until you find one that will work. Sometimes one key doesn't work, the one that's supposed to, but another key in that set will work. And so just keep trying until you find the right HUD key. If you can't get in, get back in touch with us to let us know, and perhaps there's a lockbox, or perhaps there's another way to get into the home. We'll work that out. The second point there is reporting to us. If the property is unsecured, let us know. If it's occupied, let us know if that's the case. If it has active roof leaks with no tarp, if there's a basement or crawl space that's flooded, that's kind of an emergency situation, especially if there's running water. If there's a sump pump or dehumidifier, but the electricity is not on, I mean, if the sump pump's not working, and there's water in the area there, we need to get that going as soon as we can. So these are kind of emergency situations to let us know about as quick as you can. Inside the house, as I mentioned earlier, 6 pictures of each room. That's the 4 walls, floor, and ceiling. Good, clear pictures of each of those surfaces is really, really important. Include a photo of the thermostat, any other key pads that you find, like maybe an alarm panel, sprinkling system timer. You might find different types of keypads around the home. Take pictures of them as well. Bathrooms and kitchens require pictures of all of the plumbing fixtures. That's the sink. So you're actually pointing down into the sink to see the sink and the faucet, over in the tub to get a view inside the tub as to how that looks, how the drain looks. The shower head. Sometimes those shower heads are, they've been stolen and they're not there any longer. So get a picture of the shower head, whether it's there or not. If it's just the stub coming out of the wall. Faucets, toilet, under the sink connections are really important. Sometimes that P-trap that's underneath that sink there leaks, and the asset owner, depending on who that is, the client, they'll never know if there's a problem there unless we open that cabinet and take good pictures under the sink of those connections, the water connections, as well as the P-trap, including the floor that's underneath that, because a lot of times the evidence for any leak is on the floor. So get pictures inside and out of that sink, under the sink there. Take pictures of all appliances as well. This is inside and out. The fridge, the range, dishwasher, any appliances like that. Take pictures of all those appliances. If you find any mold, try to identify the source of that mold and report it back to us. Sometimes it's a roof leak, sometimes it's a broken pipe, but do the best you can to find out the source of the mold. If you're on a level of the house that's right underneath the roof, and that mold is in the ceiling, then there's a very good chance there's a roof leak of some sort. But anyway, try to find out what that source is. Report that back to Homeland. There should be a place in the survey to do that. Furnace and water heater pictures need to clearly show the connections, as I mentioned earlier, gas and water or electric. Make sure they're intact or damaged, whatever it might be, so we can get that information. Sometimes water heaters are rusted. You need to be able to see that rust clearly in a picture. A picture of the entire unit from different angles is really helpful in determining how healthy these things are. And with the furnace, sometimes we open those things up to be able to look inside, get a picture of the A-coil if it has air conditioning there. Things like that are all real important, but the survey will guide you through all this. Photos of the attic. Sometimes attics get missed. If you have a little ladder with you, just open up the attic access. If you're able to crawl up inside there, then great, do it safely. We don't want anybody hurt. We're trying to look for any water stains that might be underneath the roof sheathing or on trusses or things like that, the condition of any insulation that's up in the attic. If you can't get up inside there, then put the camera up into the attic so you can take some pictures up inside there the best you can, with as much lighting as available if you have a flashlight to help point out things that are going on in the attic. The garage is important as well. Garage photos need to include photos of the overhead door, any man doors to ensure that the property is secure. Make sure to include a photo of the electrical or the breaker panel. The crawl space I mentioned earlier, many homes have a crawl space. got to get down the crawl space and take pictures down there. Some homes, the water heater or the furnace is actually in the crawl space. You need to get in the crawl space to be able to see the condition of the furnace. Mobile home, as I mentioned earlier, they have certain tags on them. A HUD tag is important to get a picture of. Don't forget that with each room or window that you see or go into, we need to get a measurement of that room. And that's just wall to wall. It's usually the length times the width. And the survey will ask you for this. And then for the window, we're just looking for the height times the width. That information gets included in the photo package that we deliver to our client. All right, I mentioned earlier as we were going through the photos that are needed that there are certain photos that are very important. Some of the ones that are missed that are important are photos under the sink to show the plumbing. And this is especially important to see if there's any sort of leaking that's going on with either the P-trap or the water supply. You need to be able to see those connections as well as the floor under the sink there, because that's where the evidence will show up. Cabinets, you want to be able to see inside and outside, so make sure when you go through a kitchen or a bathroom you have pictures both of the cabinets, drawers, and doors open as well as shut. The attic, as I mentioned, is one that sometimes gets missed. It's not an easy one to get into necessarily, but if we can get you into the attic, or at least to hold the camera up into the attic and get several shots around the attic, that's all necessary and required from our client. Closets in bedrooms sometimes get missed. Sometimes there are roof leaks that don't show up, but in a closet. And if you don't go into a closet and take a picture across the ceiling inside of a closet, we'll never know that it's either good or bad. I mentioned roof, how important that is. If you can get on top of it, if it's safe, to get good pictures around that. Otherwise, roof level photos are just critical. We have to have those. But then again, these are photos that are commonly missed and really help us in taking care of our client. All right, so here's some examples then of photos. This is an inspection that was done. I'm going to mainly show the inside here of a home. You can see when this person walked into this home, they took a picture of the bedroom wall. And already in this photo right here, you can see the closet on the left-hand side here is missing the framing, the casing. The door is just not there. And you can see this all in the photo. The photo is clear enough that you can see that. I want to point out that light in the background, sometimes that obscures the photo, and you can see that's the case here. The light is so powerful from outside that it almost obscures some of the stuff that's in the room. Luckily we can see this okay, but be careful of light sources as well, because they can make it tough to see what's in the photo. Okay, here's a picture of the back wall of the sliding glass door that's there. The next picture is of the wall on the right-hand side, so he's just kind of going around the room counterclockwise. Then we got a picture from the back, looking back of the room, that is, where the sliding glass door is, looking back towards the door coming into the bedroom. In this photo here, you can see there's a little jog taken out of this room here. There might be something on the other side of the wall, maybe a closet or a little bathroom or something. But this door right here is something to pay attention to. There's some pretty good damage right here. And you can also see there's some casing also missing on this door right here. This is all stuff we'd like to get closer up pictures of. All right, then the person also gets pictures of the ceiling and the floor. They all look like they're in fairly okay condition. And then here's the closet, a picture of the floor and kind of halfway up the wall, and then the ceiling in the closet. And then here's some close-ups on damages, and this is really important before you leave a room. If there's any damage there, get some close-ups on that. So the door is one thing. We already had some pictures of the casing around the closet. Not so much a damage, it's just missing, but that's also important. Okay, now we're going to go to the bathroom. In this particular bathroom, we're going to start with the ceiling, kind of a view back into the bathroom. Here's a picture of the floor. In that same bathroom, a picture of the vanity and the sink. The mirror, you can see the appliance over there. The toilet cabinets are all shut at this point. Another view of the ceiling, and you can see the light bar that was in that last photo. You can see some of the accessories here as well. Bathroom, like the toilet paper holder. Can't see the towel holder here. It looks like we've got a little mouse trap in here as well. Notice that the door, and he didn't really get a close-up on this. We happen to catch this just because we saw it in this particular photo. It wasn't the subject of the photo. But the door is missing its doorknob, and that's something important to know, and that's something that we pass along to our client. We actually give our clients a cost estimate of what it's going to take to bring this home into spec, whether that's for conveyance reasons or non-conveyance reasons. These sorts of things need to be all documented. So we have here a missing doorknob that we can see from this particular photo. Now, one thing that this particular inspector did not take a picture of, and I warned earlier, this is something that we miss at times. We go through these homes so quickly, we miss opening up the cabinets and getting pictures inside of the drawers, inside the doors. A really critical one is underneath the sink. We didn't get a picture in this case of the condition of the P-trap and the water supply here. Now, this one here, we don't have a real good picture of the floor here, but you can see it's kind of it looks like it's kind of caving in. We got a bow in the floor here, so something has happened at some point along with this particular sink here. There's been some leaking here. This is all important stuff for us to document for our client. We also didn't get a shot inside the bathtub. Now, this is another home, another bathtub, and there's some garbage here, even a dead mouse inside this bathtub here. But we want to be able to see things like the condition of the caulking, see the condition of the drain, the spout that comes into the bathtub, the faucets that we can't see in this photo here. These are all important for us to be able to pass along to our client in terms of the condition of each of these important systems of a home. Right, moving to the kitchen. So here we are in the kitchen, and again, I want to point out the light source here is really powerful. Be careful of that because it obscures a lot of the other information that's in a photo here. But in any event, here's the kind of the photo of the back wall of the kitchen here. You can see from this photo here, you can see we're missing the range. It's been taken away. There's some stuff that's leaked down here. We'll show it to you later, but it's coming from the fridge and it's leaked all the way over here. Here's a view looking over to the right of the kitchen. Again, that light source makes it hard to really see a lot of details, but he has the dishwasher open so we can see inside the appliance. You can see where the fridge was. Apparently when the power was turned off, something was in there that melted and leaked all over here. I don't know what it would have been. But we can also see there's some evidence of something on the wall here, and that might be some water damage. It might be some mold, some moisture back here. I'm not sure what it is. Kind of hard to tell with this particular picture. But this particular person also took pictures of all the cabinet doors being open. You can see all of them are open here. The drawers don't appear to be open, but looks like they've got the right idea. And you can get some idea. Don't have a real good view as to what's going on with the sink and the faucet up here. Can't see them too well. It looks like the home has been winterized. Those look like winterization stickers that are there. There's a few pieces of information that are really, really important in each of these photos here. Okay, so here's the dishwasher closed this time. You can see a little bit better the sink. Where the fridge was, there's a little closer up sort of picture of this wall behind the fridge. Can't quite tell, but it looks like there probably was some sort of water supply, and maybe that's been leaking and leaching up into this wall here. But a good close-up photo of that would have really helped. Again, a picture of the dishwasher, but this time it's open. Now we're going to go into the sink. So this is on the right side of the sink. You can see the dishwasher supply right here, the water supply. Actually, the water supply is right here. That may have come from the other spigot there. That should be going on to the dishwasher. Here's the P-trap. A little bit of evidence of some sort of leaking you can see here. The next picture, oh, that was going to the dishwasher, the water supply to the dishwasher. You can see some hard water deposits here on this particular, what they call an angle stop. This is the water supply valve here. And then, of course, this is the drain into the floor on the other side of that particular, under the sink there. Here's a backed up view of that. The light source again is obscuring some of our view, but that's the same one. And then back again looking more at an overall view, but the light source again is making it kind of hard to see. It might have been nice if the person was able to kind of angle the camera down a little bit so the light didn't obscure the subject of the photo quite so much. All right, now here's the person standing in the back of the kitchen from where the range was and looking back towards the main part of the house. So we can see it looks like there's a little debris left inside of this particular cabinet. Might even be missing the door over here, it looks like, for this cabinet. Looks like this other door goes to the other side of this cabinet. Little debris in there. Looks like that vent's in good shape. Most of the other stuff looks okay. So the stuff we already know about. Okay, here's a little less light here to look at. Can't really see still the condition of this faucet. I would have liked to have had a picture straight down into the sink to see the condition of the drains and just the sink in general, if there was rust or things like that. Some things that were missed, but you know, it's okay. We can kind of work through this. All right, some more of the cabinets. Some more pictures of the cabinets towards the back of the kitchen. There's the range hood there. A little bit of damage on the wall here, it looks like. Okay, a little closer up on the back part of that kitchen. Some of the cabinets are that are on the left side of the kitchen, all opened up. A little more of the light source there, a fluorescent light that's above. Here's more of a, now this particular photo, notice that it's a portrait photo. We prefer those photos come across to us in landscape mode, so that would be more lengthwise here. This happens to be a portrait one. We can work with these, but preferred is to have it always in landscape mode for any of these photos. All right, then you get some close-ups on some of the damages. So here's a rip in the linoleum. This is right about at the entrance to the kitchen here, right on this this vent. Here's some damage on the wall here. This would have been right where the range was. And this is also some damage on the wall where the range was. So they were able to document all that. I mentioned earlier how important it is to have clear photos. We have many, many examples of photos that are blurry, where the user taking the picture maybe moved it at the wrong time, or there was too much light, or whatever it might be. But as the example of this water heater and furnace here, we can't really tell on the connections here from that particular photo. We can generally see them, but it's a fairly blurry photo. It would have been much better just to hold the camera more still at the time, and that may not have been the problem, may have been some other issue. But we need a good, clear photo of each of these particular subjects. All right, so the last thing in this presentation is to cover work order terminology. So here's some terms that you may see in work orders as they come to you. R&R, a lot of people know that as being rest and relaxation. In terms of a work order, what R&R means is to remove and replace. As an example, with carpet, for example, we may have to remove the carpet and replace it. Actually take the old damaged, maybe sometimes it's wet or just there's holes in it, remove that carpet and then replace it. Sometimes we're asked just to replace it because there's nothing in there, that's down on the floor currently. But where you see R&R, if you happen to see that, what that means is to remove and replace whatever that is. Detach and reset. What DNR stands for is in cases where you've got, as an example, you've got a door slab that needs to be replaced. In the instructions, it may come to you and it may say we need to detach and reset the doorknob. The doorknob might be in great condition. They want to detach the doorknob from the old door slab because it's damaged, get rid of the old door slab, get a new door slab, paint it, and then obviously take the doorknob off of the old door slab and reset it or put it back on the new door slab. And that's the situation where you see this DNR. Squares, SQ. This is one that has been, most of us know what square feet is. That's the one right below it here. But when it comes to SQ or squares, many of us will feel that square feet and squares are the same thing, and the truth is they are not. They're really different. 1 square is equal to 100 square feet. So there's a 1 to 100 difference in measurement. This is a measuring term here. Squares are typically used on roofs. Instead of saying we've got a roof that's 3,200 square feet, those that do roofs will say that I have a roof that is 32 squares. And they just take off the zeros there, but, doing this 1 to 100 type of ratio. So squares, again, are 1 square is 100 square feet, so make sure you never get that mixed up there. Square feet, most of us are familiar with, but here's the abbreviations you'll see many times. A cubic yard is CY. A cubic yard is typically 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. It's about the size of a dryer or a clothes washer or something like that. That's what a cubic yard is. Linear feet is abbreviated as LF. A square yard is SY. It's mostly used for flooring. You might see an EA, which stands for each, and in times you might even see a UI, which stands for United Inches. Okay, well, that is the end of this presentation here. The whole point was to cover terminology, not only in work orders, but more specifically to go into photos and what's important, where it is that we miss photos many times, how important it is to be clear on the photos. Most homes that you'll go through, you'll walk away from the home and you'll have gotten at least 200 or 300 photos before you walk away from a home, and sometimes many, many more photos. It might be more like, we have many homes that people do for us where the number of photos that we receive is in the 600, 700, even 800 photo range. That's very common. It doesn't take that long to take a good photo. We just need to make sure we take sufficient photos and they need to be clear, in focus, and on the right topic that we're looking for. Okay, well, once again, thank you for your time. This concludes this particular presentation.